Episode, we're going to talk about the warning signs of brainwashing or mind control or persuasive coercion or manipulation. When I was an interrogator in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, shortly after 9/11, I had some detainees that told me they were brainwashed to join Al-Qaeda. Many of them were blatantly lying to me, but there was one or two who wound up in Afghanistan because of social influence or peer pressure, what they called brainwashing. Is there such a thing as brainwashing? There's a lot of debate as to whether or not brainwashing truly exists and if it can be used as a criminal defense. There's an article I found published in Slate in 2002 that stated this: there's good empirical evidence to shore up the early claims about brainwashing, primarily in studies done by former POWs by Edgar Schein and Robert Lifton in the early 60s. Prisoners could indeed have their minds and values shaped by their captors. I recently received a certificate from Cornell University in the psychology of leadership, and it described 3 driving behaviors, of behavior. And they were individual, situational, and social influence. So social influence is when somebody else is pushing a behavior that we adopt. And we're not psychologists here at the Profiler Task Force, and we can't tell you whether or not brainwashing is legitimate, but as profilers, we can tell you the impact of social influencing. But before we dive into our analysis, I want to thank our followers and our subscribers, and a special thanks, of course, to our Patreon ambassadors. And if you don't know what Patreon is, it is a paid subscription service where you get to go behind the scenes with us and win some pretty cool things, such as a free coaching session, books, or monthly video tutorials, which you'll get. And you can also join us in a happy hour, which we do after our shows on Wednesday, where we dive a little deeper and we answer a lot of your questions. So we want you guys to really dive down into human behavior, and that's what we're here for. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Lucifer effect and the atrocities that happened at Abu Ghraib prison in Iraq. And I'm also going to talk about torture. I'll also share some personal stories of my experiences as an interrogator in Gitmo. We will provide the link to Patreon at the end of this segment, and please feel free to check us out. And I want to give a personal shout out to our newest ambassadors, JK, Julianne, and Crystal. Welcome aboard and welcome to the family.